Hello everybody, welcome to another review. So I'm going to be reviewing the brand new album by Babymetal, Metal Forth. So this is the band's 5th album now, and it's the first one to be, well, almost entirely a collab album. This album features a lot of different artists, numerous metal bands, numerous metal artists, and so on and so forth. It's interesting just to kind of see the variety they bring with this. Something that's quite distinctive is, I will say this album is quite accessible just to having all these different bands and artists on here, compared to the last album, which I find to be the hardest album to get into for Babymetal, just due to the weird production. Just a lot of the songs don't really pop out in this kind of iconic way. I felt Metal Galaxy was, in my opinion, a better record, but the first two albums from Babymetal I think is still their best, and Metal Forth doesn't quite come to the same level as what they've done before, and I feel Babymetal's kind of in a step where they are producing some great stuff, but I don't think they're outright topping each record onward. But we're going to go through this one track by track because there's a lot of features. So starting off, we have From Me to You, which features Poppy, a singer who has been on tracks like Violence Against Nature by Bad Omens, and more iconically Suffocate, featuring Suffocate, where she features on the Knocked Loose track, which was actually Grammy nominated. Poppy has been doing quite well, and I honestly think all the songs she's been featuring on, minus the Bad Omens one, I'm not that big on the song itself, but she has honestly brought a lot of fun energy, and I think with the girls from Babymetal, they play off each other really well. They just got this overall vibe that just works great, and From Me to You definitely is a great start for the album. Good single as well, I like this one. Then we have RATATATA, which this one came out May the 24th or 31st. I think it's May the 24th. This one came out last year. Yeah, this has been out for over a year, and it's insane that it's finally on an album now. I think it was just supposed to be a standalone single, but eventually they worked it into the album. So this was a collab with Callboy, and this went viral to the point where you just had so many people talking about it. It was on a lot of playlists. It was probably still say is the biggest hit Babymetal and Callboy both had. If you look at the numbers on stream, even if it's not the most streamed yet, it probably will be, and it's always like the number one thing. It's definitely the viral hit. It's got this catchy, fun energy to it, and I think Callboy do kind of put their electronical, fun sound into this, and I think the girls' vocals work great. This was a track of the week a while ago, so it's surprising that we're talking about it again, but I liked Ratata. Fun song, and I think probably one of the most enjoyable things Callboy has released, and one of my favourite things that Babymetal's released, so good on them. So song 3, which actually is in the correct order, so this was first released on the To Prevail album Grizzly, which I talked about last month. It was a pretty rough record, and I think it was like track 7. So a song called Song 3 was track 7. It made more sense because this was actually going to be on a Babymetal album, and then I guess To Prevail's like, it's a good song, we need to put it on here. So with no context, it just feels jumbled on what already was a mess of a record, and yeah, having a song called Song 3 or like Song 7 is pretty stupid if it's meant to be the third song, especially with how much they bring it up as well on this. Honestly though, I don't really care for this one. I don't think it's just To Prevail is one of the most generic deathcore bands that doesn't really bring anything interesting to the table. It's just, oh wow, it's growly, it's heavy, it doesn't really mean anything. You can get any deathcore artist to feature like Lorna Shore, and it would have much more of an impression and probably be more entertaining, to be honest. I think you just kind of got one of the worst deathcore bands to incorporate to it. Song 3 I wasn't a fan of on Grizzly, and I'm not a fan of it on Metal Forth. Then we have Con Con, which features Bloodywood. I thought this was also a song Bloodywood did, but no, Babymetal featured on Bloodywood's new album, and well, Bollywood features on this one as well. Concon's good. I think it's kind of I'm starting to recognise the issue with this record, one of the big issues, but I'll go into it when I get to the end of the review. We have the first actual track which doesn't have any features, and it's quite disappointing, to be honest. I think for Babymetal standards they kind of put this hip hop trappy beat and it just kind of loses its sound. It doesn't really feel like a song I'd imagine them doing. It just feels very out there. It's not catchy. It does not really fit with the kawaii metal sound. Even if you call it kawaii, I just don't think it's a very strong song. Sunset Kiss features Polyphia, which you can tell by the guitars. That's the main point of it. I think it's a nice kind of sound. I think Polyphia and Babymetal definitely is a idea that could work. I just don't think they necessarily do anything strong with it, and it kind of loses the Babymetal sound other than just the vocals, because Polyphia is more focused on instrumentals than vocals anyway, mainly being an instrumental band. Then you have My Queen featuring Spirit Box. Yeah, this generally just feels like Ride the Wave, but with more of Babymetal on it. And yeah, I think the point is getting more obvious what I'm on about. But then we have Algorism. Yeah, this one's actually quite good. It probably feels the most like a Babymetal track on the record. I love this one a lot. Fun energy. I love the additional musicians' growls on this. It's quite fun. It's quite a fun song. Metal featuring Tom Morello. Tom Morello often has been partially included onto pretty much a lot of big bands and such and projects, but Tom Morello has also worked on stuff like Maneskin with Gossip, which I really think that song is crap and I just can't get into it. Tom Morello's track record definitely hasn't been the most consistent, and here I just don't think there really is anything to write home about. It's just a song that's on the record. I don't really have much of an opinion on Metal. And White Flame, I like the opening to this track, but I feel like it just kind of loses steam and isn't quite as ambitious as it could be, and that's pretty much all I have to say with each track individually. Now, as going throughout the entire record, as I've been teasing, the biggest issue for me is a lot of the songs just kind of feel like it's musicians featuring Babymetal. Of course you get some actual Babymetal stuff, but one of the songs generally feels like a song that could be a classic Babymetal song. It's got everything. It's got the kawaii-ness, it's got the heavy metal aspect, it's got the girls just having an absolute fun time on Algorism, and I like that one. But White Flame and Kawaii just don't really have much going into it. I just feel that these kind of are a bit of a waste of potential for what it has, and the main highlights of this unfortunately has to be some of the collab stuff, and even the collab stuff I feel as a whole record it's not enjoyable. I don't mind collab albums if the context of the record works, but it just feels like they just kind of strewn through a bunch of collabs into the record without really any good pacing. It just feels like songs are just chucked randomly. Even if you have a song called Song 3, you can just easily title any of the songs Song 3, to be fair. It doesn't make much of a difference, but or if you're planning to do a song called Song 3, then obviously you'd save it for the third track. It's just kind of a weird mess of a record in my opinion. I do like a lot of the stuff on here. I just don't think as a record it works great. I feel like if this was more of an EP or a kind of a different project, it would have been interesting, but as a full album, especially since it's actually due an album as well, I don't think it's necessarily worth the wait. When you've had a song that's been out for over a year, then you kind of get the gist that a lot of it's just going to be collabs. I don't mind an album having a lot of collabs. It's quite nice to kind of get the support, and it's interesting to see what metal bands want to collab, but as a whole project, I just find it quite underwhelming, and I will be honest, I probably prefer the last album just because of it. But I will say that there are definitely some highs that I do enjoy on this record, like From Me to You featuring Poppy, RATATATA is another good one, and Algorism. But other than that, it's definitely not the most interesting. So I'll give this one a 2.5 out of 5, so I hope you'll enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.